but click this video, and this video can help you create a thumbnail. This video will show you how to invoice a customer. So this way you're sort of kind of creating this video content out there, and it's fun. Like you said, you found a way to make it engaging. You found a way to make it fun and entertain. People pay you for this.
Yes, in fact, I've now turned Manual Magic, my book,
Mhm.
into a SaaS product. So what you'll be able to do is
Wow,
load
that's
your intellectual property,
mhm.
and it will sort it into my categories, and then start to build the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and then create storyboards to turn into videos.
What was the secret of growing your podcast or business wasn't more content or more followers, but more system. Today on a conversation, I'm sitting down with Penny Hopkinson, the operations queen. Yes, the operations queen behind some of the most successful franchise brands in the UK. With nearly 40 years of experience, she is showing us how to turn chaos into clarity and build business that just don't survive. Hey, they scale. Whether you're running solo or managing a team, this episode will have you rethinking how to run your business and grow. Hey, let's welcome Miss Penny Hopkinson. How you doing, Penny?
Doing really well. Thank you very much.
Great,
I'm
great. Again,
delighted to be here.
thank you for taking the time. Hey guys, I want you to know Penny is all the way from the UK. She's taking the time. We had the time difference. We were working out, but it worked out. So I'm excited. I'm excited to actually have this conversation. Before we jumped on, I was explaining to her that more and more people here in the US and around the world, they hit 50 or 60, 70, you know what? They're revitalized. They're doing something online. They're creating a new business. And since she is the expert of branding and systems, I always talk about systems, and people think I'm crazy about systems. So, so Manny, I'm glad you're here because we want to talk about systems. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start with a question just out the park. I'm just like at a baseball game. So, um, I know you've helped tons of entrepreneurs. You helped tons of franchises over years. What's the first system every business or solopreneur or anyone that they should think about putting in place?
I think the first system has to be about people, because without people, you don't have a business. It's not just marketing. You just absolutely have to define who you want to take with you day by day on your journey.
I never thought about it from that perspective. I'm thinking a spreadsheet or something.
Oh, that would be far too dull. I guess, I suppose if you want to go back to basics, it's
No, 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 no,
create
but
a
no,
business
you're right
plan.
though. You are people because so in the US it's sort of kind of a little different. People think you have to do it all by yourself and not thinking about sometimes you need a team to help you get started and to help you grow. And yes, that team may cost you something. I do a lot of business consulting, and I say the one person who you need before you even start is an accountant. And they look at me like I'm crazy. And I said, you need someone to help you manage the inflow and outflow. So you're not thinking of that. You're thinking about how do you do the business. Guys, you need to read a book. I bought the book and then I got it on the Kindle, and then I sort of kind of broke it down and got little notes on it and stuff like that. So, so I can pull out stuff. So she describes like her operational manual as like your business Bible. Why is that so important that people have a SOP like this operations manual of how are you going to run your business?
There are quite a few reasons. The first reason is because you need to protect your intellectual property. When you think about it, your business system is your key piece of intellectual property. And if you don't document your systems or in some way have them recorded, then what's to stop somebody just running off with them? You know,
That is true.
we started off with people. Recruiting the right people is
Mhm.
fundamental for your business. But say you recruit somebody who isn't perhaps quite the person you thought,
Mhm.
and says, "Ah, this is a pretty good system. I think I'm going to develop one for myself." And of
Right.
course, this happens all the time in franchising. You
Yeah.
have franchisees who want to become franchiseurs.
That is true. That is true. That is true. It's the,
So that's fundamentally why a franchise, particularly in the UK, must have an operations manual. It's a legal obligation. In the
oh, wow.
States, not so much. It's not a nice to have, but it's best practice.
Yes, yes.
Um, and the other thing is, what happens if you fall sick, long-term sick? Who's going to run your business? How are they going to do it? So you need something written down to show how to do it. And perhaps the most important of reason of it, them all in the long run, is that when you document a procedure,
Mhm.
you will constantly look for ways of improving.
Mm.
And when you improve, that helps you scale your business.
Wow. Wow. That's actually so true. So, like in a business, let's say I had a barber shop or whatever, a service-based business. If I want to create another service-based business somewhere else, I necessarily don't have to have a operations manual to do that. I can just, hey,
Brilliant.
I'm just going to go over here to this other state and just get up and going and call it the same name. And again, the processes are not the same.
You will have your unique selling proposition.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
I've worked with a number of hairdressers, so barbers in effect,
Okay.
and each has something unique in the way that they do something. It may be that they allow other hairdressers who are independent to have what's known as a column.
Oh.
Others don't. Others have their academies
Mhm.
so that you can learn your trade
Oh, the
actually
trailers.
within the hairdressers or the barbers. So there are nuances, little differences in the way
Okay.
people do it.
Do you find that in this new fast-paced world of internet and intellectual property and everything is going so fast that it's hard to document processes and procedures, or people don't want to document processes and procedures?
I think that's the crux of it. They don't want to do it because it's onerous. It's something that actually takes you out of your day to day. You ask somebody to document a process, and they say, "Oh no, I'm busy. I'd rather be selling. I'd rather be customer facing. I'd rather be baking or
Yes.
whatever." The last thing they really want to do is to document a process. But there are ways of doing it much more quickly.
Okay. Okay.
The first is a lot of the procedures are visual.
Oh,
So why not take your smartphone and record it?
recorded.
Then you can turn that into a QR code and put it, let's say you're a barista, you don't know how to strip down the espresso machine at the end of the day and clean it.
Mhm.
You've got the video because the QR code is on the side of the equipment. Capture it, go at your own pace with little captions on it. Not, I mean, nobody under 40 will read dull text heavy material anymore. So, your barista is likely to be under 30. So they capture the QR code, go step by step. They can um, select the language of preference and then literally go step by step at their own pace. and it's a single source of truth. So where you've got
Oh, wow.
a multi-site operation, you are always able to replicate that process in exactly the same way
Wait, there you go.
faithfully.
You know what? I've never even thought about that. That's brilliant. Just turn on the camera. You got a smartphone and then place a QR code so this way anyone can see it and oh wow.
What we do is we create a framework,
Mhm.
a very, very detailed framework. And after that framework is created, it's like a table of contents, but extremely detailed. And after that, we look at all those processes that can be turned into visual procedures. And that enables
Mm.
you to create content much, much more quickly. And it's actually fun because if you have a team,
Mhm.
then you can allocate team members. They get involved. You can incentivize them, particularly in multi site operations. Incentivize them, offer a prize of, let's say, a voucher for $100 and have a leaderboard. And at the end of the year, have the improvement that has made the biggest difference overall to the business. £1,000 voucher,
Mhm.
and the team, whether it's a marketing team, HR team, whatever, they will get a voucher to
Okay.
the value of, let's say, 3,000, and they can go and take the training of their choice for their team to improve.
I'm thinking about that solo entrepreneur, right? We got one or two employees and one person knows how to do something but the other person don't. To create this video and say, hey, if you want, hey, I can't make it, but click this video and this video can help you create a thumbnail. This video will show you how to invoice a customer. This video will show. So this way you're sort of kind of creating this video content out there and it's fun. Like you said, you found a way to make it engaging. You found a way to make it fun and entertain. People pay you for this. They actually pay you to actually design this?
Yes, in fact, I've now turned Manual Magic, my book,
Mhm.
into a SaaS product. So what you'll be able to do is
Wow,
load
that's
your intellectual property,
mhm.
and it will sort it into my categories and then start to build the SOP, the standard operating procedure, and then create storyboards to turn into videos.
That is, like, so cool.
I'd never expected at my age to do something like that, but
No.
I've always been interested in tech.
Okay.
And, I found ChatGPT when it was, launched to the whole wide world, so fascinating. I
Oh,
think I
wow.
went down so many rabbit holes within the first couple of months that, it was incredible. But then it occurred to me that you need to harness AI these days to
Yes.
make something quicker, cheaper, and more effective. So with this Manual Magic AI, you can create SOPs in 15 minutes.
That's actually fantastic. Actually, I've started this AI series, because again, more and more individuals who are older, like us, are now going and using technology. If you're not using AI, the jobs of the future requires people to know AI. So it's not like it's not saying, oh no, AI is going to replace me. No, it's the people who are using AI. They are actually going to move forward because they actually know how to do the prompting. So when you started your SaaS journey, I find this really interesting. Did you go get some programmers? Did you reach out to
I did it
individuals?
myself to begin with. I built a prototype
Oh, wow.
and I tested it.
Mhm.
I fed it and I tested it, and I did it every which way. And there's a potential client been talking to, I would say, for 6 months now,
Okay.
and they said, "We've got three problems, and we don't know how to solve them." And I said, "Right, give me the problems. I'll see what I can do." And I programmed the prototype for
Oh,
gap
wow.
analysis. And the feedback I got, it did it in 15 minutes. The feedback I got was, "Do you know, I never thought of that." And actually, it was a simple, easily implementable solution.
That's wow. I'm just amazed at that. So see, and that's another reason. So you were able, most people understand if okay guys, if you never did gap analysis or stuff of that nature, the hardest thing is to get the data into the gap analysis and then be able to parse it to see what really is the problem. You threw it into AI and AI helped you. Again, you use your experience to program AI, and based off of that information, you are able to actually generate some solutions. And magic eyes here. Wow. Again, I'll tell you, I'm very, very fascinated. I'm very
I think
fascinated.
I think, I've got one side of my brain which is the creative side, and I've got the other one that likes to be logical and work something through. And I could not stop working with it. It was just phenomenal. But the Manual Magic AI, we
Mhm.
don't say that it will generate your SOPs and your manuals without any intervention. It is AI assisted
Correct.
because only you have the capability and the understanding of the nuances of your business. You know what the DNA is. You know how it differs, what your brand story is, and how this must be implemented day by day. So, Manual Magic AI will do the heavy lifting,
Mhm.
but you still need to customize it and make sure it's 100% accurate.
Do you feel that it's a geared to more medium size organizations, or could a small business go and utilize this as well?
Yes, a small business can utilize it. The idea is that you've got to have some kind of springboard
Okay.
to develop the business.
Mhm.
So we have um, the solopreneur and micro business
Oh, wow.
category. We then have the SME category, and then we go up to the global brands.
Wow.
So each is treated individually according to size, and it. I think that if you're going to develop something like this, it has to be for the universal good, not just for the big boys.
Okay. Now, do you have a tier structure based on size, or do you have a standard subscription fee?
It's tiered.
Okay.
So solopreneurs and micro businesses, 1 to 2 people,
Mhm.
there's a
Okay.
subscription. Then there's one for SMEs. So
Mhm.
you're going up to, let's say, it's a business of, I don't know, up to 50 businesses. And then you've got the global brands where you've got multi sites. It could be 4,000 sites, it could be 40 sites.
Um,
And there is consultancy to back it,
wow.
when you get to the bigger, um, brands, because you're talking about teams, you're talking about project management, and the AI has all the capabilities to project manage.
See, Now you're gonna have me just sign up and do a review. See, look at there. You're gonna have me sign up and do a review of the product because
What we're doing is we're having a wait list,
uh-huh.
and we're going to publish that on LinkedIn very
Okay.
shortly. And there will be founder prices for the first year,
Oh wow.
and the founder subscribers will be able to chat in Facebook, give us feedback, tell us what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and
Hmm.
we're making it in such a way that it's for the people who subscribe, not for the people who create the product.
Oh, okay. Okay. So as new things come out, they can give you feedback and you can make
Yes.
enhancements from a
Yes,
SaaS
or they
perspective.
can Yes, or they can, propose something. I
Okay.
was a beta tester for an AI product last year,
Hmm.
and, I compared it with what was on the market and gave lots of suggestions, recommendations, all adopted. And sometimes it's as simple as saying, "We like to have audio input because we're not sort of really keyboard friendly. We'd love to be able to speak into the microphone and get AI to translate everything that we do."
Man, this is very, very exciting. Now, have you noticed as you beginning to go out there and tell people about your product and services that people are like, "Wow, you're doing this now at this time in your life," and you're like, "Well, heck, I still got some spunk left. I still could do some stuff." You know?
You're absolutely right. People say, "But you're supposed to be retired." Well, I was supposed to be retired a long time ago, but I actually love what I do. And what I love most is today we can find up to 5 generations under one workplace. Baby
Oh
boomers like
wow.
me, down to Generation Alpha who are up and coming.
Hmm.
And within that, 30% of the global workforce are now under 30. So
Wow.
they each have different learning styles and different learning abilities.
Hmm.
Therefore, you have to cater for everyone. And that's difficult. But luckily, our generation, sorry, my generation, not our generation,
Yeah.
um,
I don't know. I'm
um,
close.
not that close.
No, not
Uh, um, my generation now look on YouTube. Whenever I want to, let's say I need to learn how to do something, where do I go?
Mhm.
I go to YouTube. I need to take the bulb out of the oven and replace it. I just have a quick check on YouTube. So you need companies need and organizations need to meet people where they learn, and they learn from peer-to-peer engagement, not top down, but bottom up.
Now, I just want you to
And
know that is like a lot of wisdom that most people don't understand. I get it. I get it. When I business consult to the younger generation who are 20 and 30, and I tell them that there's this marketplace for their products and services who are 50 and 60, but you need to communicate to them using terminology and phrases that we get. We will be very faithful customers. And so what you're saying is full of wisdom, it's full of understanding. And what I really like that what you're saying is you keep going back to global. And people don't understand a lot of small. So here in the US, a lot of people who have products and services, they think really local. And then you got to get them to expand to think a little bit more regional. You got to push them a little bit more to think national. And then you got to, it's like a stretch to think global. But once you put your brand onto the internet, you are global. I have a question that brings back to your application. So your application, will it have language models based on, see, yeah, I had asked that, would it,
Yes,
based on where you're coming from, UK, you have a Spanish version. I mean, would you have that as part of your SaaS offering?
yes, you absolutely have to have it. And as you so rightly say, today is a global marketplace. If you're, I mean, there are businesses that serve their locality,
Yes.
but generally, if you want to develop something, I would say really serious for um, the type of audiences that I work with,
Mhm.
it has to be global.
I definitely got to have you back because we're going to have to talk about your launch. But I want you to tell people about your website, tell them about your book, tell them how they can get in contact with you. Where can they see you at? They, this is about, one, lifting you up and being able to let you shine and to let people know that, hey, we're doing stuff too. So you have the floor.
I can be found at www.linktree, which is linktr.ee/Penny Hopkinson. And there you have access to my book, Manual Magic. You have my Manual Writers International website, my author website, and all the podcasts, including the recording of this podcast, and loads of resources, articles, newsletters on LinkedIn. And if you would like to link with me, connect with me on LinkedIn, you can find me. I think I am the only Penny Hopkinson. And there you will find all my newsletters as well, talking all about everything from starting with a blank sheet of paper through to having a global operations manual.
Thank you, Penny. I'm excited again. Yeah, we gotta have you back. We just gotta have you back, Penny. And you're so great to talk to, by the way. So
Thank you so much. I mean, it's just a delight, and it's a wonderful opportunity. And thank you for it.
oh no problem. Thank you. Like I said, I learned a lot. I just want you to know, okay? And by the way, guys, if you go and look at her content and you listen to some of her interviews that she's done out there, it's just tons of wisdom, the little things. Um, but she goes into those little things that, like, wow, that can actually change my business. That can change how things work. I can actually take a day off now. So, so
I think that's what it's all about, working smarter, not
N-
harder.
Exactly. So again, thank you, Penny. And so we have this saying, my tagline is, without the conversation, we can't have the understanding.